There's a good fish. Next cast. Big fish. Whoa. What is this? What in the heck? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Orange 22 Fishing. We are out here on a cool, crisp, gnarly December day. My hands are already freezing and the weather is just getting colder and colder and colder as we move through December here in Delaware. But today we are coming out to a pond that has potential to give us a really big fish today. This place is loaded with big bass and I have not fished here in a while, so I'm excited to get to it. But we are going to be throwing the Googan Klutch today. It's my favorite lipless crankbait. I don't know what I did before these things came out a couple years ago, because it is just a go-to lipless for me. So I'm excited to throw that today. I'm excited to be on this pond. Hopefully we get a big bass. I'll take numbers, I'll take a big one. I don't really care, I just want to catch some fish today. But I'm going to be showing you guys why I love the Googan Klutch so much. It's just such a fun bait to use. And as you guys can hear, I'm sure these winds are howling. So anytime we got conditions where it's kind of overcast and windy like it is here today, the lipless crankbait is a perfect bait to bring out, and that's why I'm bringing out the Klutch today. So without any more talking, we're gonna get right down to the water here and throw some casts around. Hopefully we get some fish. But if you guys do enjoy the video today, please leave me a thumbs up, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Let's keep growing this channel. Thank you guys for all the support. We're gonna keep bringing this thing on through 2022 and beyond. So without any further ado, let's get down to the water. So as I'm walking up here to the pond here today, guys, it looks like the wind-blown bank is gonna be on the side that I can access here. I got my waders on. This is the only way to actually access this pond, because the water comes all the way up to the tree line and you can't cast unless you have waders to get out there and actually walk into the water. But yeah, like I said, the wind is going to be blowing this way, and this corner over here, if I can get to it, I think that's where the fish are going to be stacked up today. But I'm going to get these liplesses tied on. I got two different colors that I'm going to show you here in a second. But wow, this water is much further down than it was last time I was here, so we should be able to actually come along this bank pretty well and get plenty of cast around. But I got two different colors, like I said here. One is the Ghost Gill, which is this one right here. It's got that chartreuse tip on the back, which I really love fishing stained water, so we'll have to see the clarity of the water here today. But this is just a really good bluegill imitation. Super loud rattles on this Googan Klutch, and it's just an amazing bait. I've caught a lot of big fish actually in this pond on this bait right here. And the other color mimics the shad that are in this pond, because there is gizzard shad in here and there is bluegills too, so we got two really good imitations. But this one is what I caught my PB on back in March. Same exact bait, same loud rattle, just a different color pattern. It's got kind of that blue to grayish back, maybe a little bit of purple in there on the top, and then we just have the white sides, that black dot, which mimics what the shad have on them, and a little bit of yellow too. But it is just a really good shad imitation, and I think I'm going to start out with the sexy shad today, because in the fall that's typically what they're going to be feeding on. But we'll probably bring out the Ghost Gill at some point. But between the two of these colors right here, I know we're going to get something to munch up on it. We're going to have to keep our eyes open for any shad activity out there. If the shad are jumping around, we're definitely going to stick with the sexy shad color. But if they're not, we're probably going to go with the Ghost Gill later on. And just in case the liplesses aren't working today, I did bring along some chatterbaits, some square bills, even a couple Senkos, just in case we have to get that desperate. But we have about an hour and a half to fish out here, and I think in that time we're going to find a bait that's going to work. But I'm dedicated to getting them on the Googan Klutches here. That's what I'm gonna dedicate, like at least the first hour of fishing out here too. And then on the last half hour, if we haven't had a lot of luck so far, then I'm gonna switch over to something else. All right, sexy shad is tied on. Let's make our way down to the water right here. And this may be the lowest I've ever seen this place, for sure. Usually the water is like right here, if not higher, but as with pretty much every pond in Delaware right now, water is super low, and this water is actually looking kind of clear. So that's going to be good for us today. These fish are definitely going to be able to see this bait. But it drops off pretty quick, so as we wade out here, we got to be careful. All right, let's see if we can nab one right off the bat. That would be amazing, just to start our day with a big fish in the first couple of casts. I'm gonna reel this thing as slow as I possibly can without it hitting the bottom. I gotta find that sweet spot in my retrieve that I'm not getting the junk on there, but I'm still reeling it fast enough where these fish are gonna wanna hit it. This is one of those ponds. Since we are wading, we gotta bring this bait all the way up to us and even behind us sometimes as we're retrieving it, because these fish like to hit right at the edge sometimes when they're feeding up on these shad. Oh, that was a hit right there. That is a great sign. Second cast and we already had a bite on the sexy shad. Very good to see that. Let's bring it right back in that same area. I'm feeling good about today, guys. I really am. There he is. He came back. Yeah, nice fish too. Oh, he smoked it, guys. We got a good one. We got a good bass. Third cast, and he had hit it before. Oh, this is a nice fish, guys. Big fish. Big fish. Whoa. I gotta get this thing in, man. This is a giant. Holy cow. Dude, what a tank of a bass. On the third cast, are you kidding me? Holy crap. Oh my gosh, that is a 5+ pounder. Wow. Third cast of the day. What I tell you about the Googan Klutch, man? What did I tell you? I'm at a loss for words right now. I mean, I know these baits produce, and I know that there's big fish in this pond, but even though you're kind of expecting it a little bit, it's still amazing. That is a Delaware monster. Look at the size of my hand right now next to this thing's head. I mean, I got big hands, dude. I'm 6'5", and that thing could eat my hand. Wow. Wow, that is the best bass I've caught since I got my PB back in March on that same bait. All right, guys, took a couple quick photos for Instagram right there. If you guys haven't been following us already, check us out at 022 Fishing for exclusive content that you don't see on YouTube. But that bass is ready to go. And there she swims back out to where she came from. What a gorgeous fish, man. Third cast of the day. I'm literally shaking right now, partially from the cold and partially from excitement, because that is just an amazing fish to catch. So stoked to have got that.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I've gotten my bearings a little bit. That was absolutely insane. I took like 10 minutes just to compose myself here because I was so excited after getting that fish. But 3 casts in and we land that thing. What a day it might be here today. There's bigger fish than that in here, believe it or not. And I'm gonna try my darndest to get another one. 3 casts and a giant. He literally hit the cast before in the same exact spot. I just got hit again. This is crazy. I found a retrieve pattern that they want, and I'm super stoked for how the rest of the day is gonna go. I don't know what's in store. That might be the biggest fish we catch all day. That could be the smallest fish we catch all day. You just never know. But wind-blown bank with a Googan Klutch in December, man. I promise I'm gonna stop talking about that fish soon and just move on, but the way that thing hit was just absolutely crazy. He mashed it. Like, there is no doubt I had a giant from the moment it hit, because oh my gosh, that thing just destroyed it. All right, I've said enough about that fish. Time to catch another one. Let's go. I don't know if that was a fish right there or if we ran into some sort of a snag or something, but that bait was towards the top of the water column when I had whatever that was. Didn't really feel like a fish, but the fact that it was up so high in the water column, it's got me believing maybe it was. I don't know. Do what we just did though on that big catch and bring it right through the same area. See if it's a snag, or I didn't get snagged, so it might have been a fish. Just saw a shad break the surface over there in the corner. First one I've seen do that all day. And that's a sign that they're getting chased and getting fed on. So my plan kind of is to keep throwing the sexy shad until I get another fish or two, and then I'll switch over to the ghost gill and see if I can't pick one up on that too. Because there is bluegill in this pond, as I said before. And obviously the fish are well fed, so they're eating bluegill and shad, I'm sure. Let's wade our way down here a little bit towards this corner more and continue to pepper this wind-blown bank. I'm glad I picked today to come out. I knew the weather conditions were looking awesome for me to be able to shoot this episode today with the wind and the cloud cover and everything. And I had some time off work, so only got a little bit of time. I do have to get to work later on in this afternoon, but I'm gonna make the most of the time I have out here. Man, I'm already at the point where it's getting hard to feel my hands at all. I've only been out here for about a half hour now, but these conditions are not for everybody. All right, I feel like we've given this end of the pond a pretty fair chance to produce a little more. And it did give us that giant at the beginning, but nothing really since then. So we're gonna take a little bit of a stroll down through the water here onto the other end of the pond. And like I said before many times, this whole wind-blown shore is gonna be good for us today. So it could be this end of the pond that produces later on, or it could be this end right now. We're gonna find out. Take a little bit of a walk down here and cast as we do, because we don't want to spook anything sitting right up here along the shore. That last fish was not too far offshore, so they could be pushing these shad right up against the banks here and feeding on them today. I think the biggest bass I've ever caught in this pond, though, outside of the last one I got, because it was about that size, came right down on this end of the pond too. There's kind of a root system that sticks out from one of those trees, and it really extends pretty far into the water, and a lot of the bass like to hang out around that point and onto the drop off a little bit over there too. One thing about these Googan Klutches is they cast an absolute mile. Like, they will bomb. I mean, I'm casting probably halfway across this pond, if not further, and it is a major bonus to this bait. Just the castability is truly amazing. That is a fish, isn't it? No. Okay. All right. I think the cold's getting to my brain a little bit. The old stickfish. All right, so we've gone a little bit longer here without any more bites, any more success, and we've covered a good bit of the water in this pond that we can actually fish, because we can't fish on the other side in people's backyards, obviously. But I have two different things that I think could help us out here to pick up our next fish of the day. The first thing would be changing over to the ghost gill color, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of shad jumping right now. So I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a color change to the bluegill could help us out. The second thing is going back where we caught the first fish, because initially when there's one fish there, you know there's got to be more than just one, right? So that could be a spot where there's a lot of fish holed up right there, and I just got to pound that area with cast after cast after cast. And I'm going to start out by doing that with the sexy shad again. And if I don't get anything in the next 10 to 15 minutes on that, then we are going to switch up to the ghost gill and go from there. But I like this strategy. I think it's going to pay off, and I think we're going to get another fish. I went ahead and took like a 10-minute break out here just to kind of stick my hands in my pockets and relax. And what the heck is this? Dan, is this your scale, man? I think I found Dan's scale from 302 Fishing. That's got to be his, right? I mean, I don't know. maybe it's first dates. I know they both fish here, so I'll see whose that is. But that's frustrating that I had that big fish earlier and there's a perfectly fine scale laying right there. That's funny. I'll see whose that is and get it back to him, because that's the only couple of people I know that fish here. That's hilarious. But yeah, as I was saying, I took a minute to step out and kind of cool myself off, get my my mind set back in the game here. We're stepping out, ready to do our thing again. Stayed with the sexy shad for the time being. Then if we don't get anything, like I said, we will go to the ghost gill for a little bit. There we go, we're on again. Out in the middle there. Finally got another bite here. Definitely not as big of a fish. What is this? What in the heck? That is a surprise. That's a big old... Is that a yellow bullhead, or is that... Or am I tripping here? It's a bullhead, which is a catfish of some sort. And I didn't snag him, he ate it in the mouth. But that thing is like yellow and brown. That is wild. Totally unexpected. I mean, that's fishing for you. You come out here, catch a 5-pounder on your third cast, nothing for quite a while, and then you're tossing around and you catch a yellow and brown catfish. That's actually a pretty big bullhead too. Normally they don't get more than like 10 or 12 inches. This one's got to be over 12, I'd say. But just look at the color. That thing is gnarly. Ow! Good Lord, he's biting. He's biting hard, man. I'm trying to get you free, buddy. Come on. Okay. Got the bait out of him. The Googan Klutch obviously catches more than just bass. We got a nasty old bullhead catfish. I've not caught one of those in a while, so it's kind of cool to catch. Completely unexpected. He just swam between my legs. There he goes. I didn't even know there was catfish in here, let alone catching one on a lipless crankbait of all things. That's just nuts to me. But hey, it's another fish. I will take it for sure. This time of year, you take what you can get. I'll tell you one thing, I would hate to be a shad in here. Imagine your last moments of life being at the hands of one of those nasty old bullheads. Last thing you see is that ugly face and that yellow belly that they got. Definitely took me by surprise, no doubt, no doubt. There's a good fish. Next cast. That's a bass. Okay. About a pounder or a pound and a half maybe. But he's going crazy. That's a good looking little bass though. I'm glad I stuck with the sexy shad. Back-to-back fish. Third fish of the day. I knew this thing would come through with something. I'm glad we came back down on this end of the pond. Just a gorgeous bass right here. I mean, look at that color pattern. They always seem to look better in the winter, in my opinion. Let's get him right back out where he came from. About a pounder. Take care, buddy. Right in that same spot that the catfish hit on, so it could be a little school of fish out there. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. That's all the time I have for today. Unfortunately, I didn't get any on that ghost gill color pattern, but that sexy shad really came through in a gigantic way at the beginning of the video. Kind of breaking me out of a slump, man, because lately I have been struggling super hard here. But to get that fish and to get the catfish and the other small bass, that's all I could ask for today. The Googan Klutch truly was clutch for me and came through in a monstrous way, and it's a bait that I highly recommend to you guys. So if you guys want to check that bait out, I'll leave the link to buy it down in the description below. I am freezing my butt off out here, and I'm ready to get in the car and head on down the road putting on some heat in there because I'm just freezing right now. I can barely talk. Can't feel my hands, can't feel my toes, but we got a giant today and we had a good time. So if you guys enjoyed coming along with me, please leave me a thumbs up down below, drop a comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next time.